Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Game over, Edmonton. We are on the air, and what a win, what an effort for the Edmonton Oilers. A 4-0 win on the road over the Boston Bruins. Pretty much a game in which that was a very, very complete effort from lines 1 through 4. Probably one of the better games you'll see of Edmonton this year. Goals from Victor Arvidsson, Connor McDavid, and Adam Henrique chipping in with 2 goals on the night. A solid effort for the Oilers, a solid way to get this road trip continuing through the East Coast. Of course, they've now won 4 games in a row. They went from being in Seattle and now Boston, and they continue things in Pittsburgh. The Oilers right now, they're rolling. This team right now, remember, we saw it last year. We saw this team find its groove in January. And once again, this team is finding its groove. Shockingly, wait, in what month? January! This team is doing a little bit of deja vu here in the first month of 2025. And it is fun to see. It's your boy, Avry Lewis-McDougall here in the host chair once again for Game Over Edmonton. How you doing tonight? Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday evening, Tuesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, wherever you are in the world. But before we continue, we want to make sure that you're tapped in with our friends at Hyperdrive Hockey. Shift into Hyperdrive and get ready to have some fun with your new source for all the biggest stories in hockey, bringing a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flair. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Hoot, Daphne Malbouf, and Kevin Lame every Tuesday and Friday for your fill on the hockey world. Watch on YouTube, on the Game Over Network channel, or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. And make sure you the viewer or the listener, head to our website, thegameovernetwork.com for more. Always make sure you tap in with Hyperdrive Hockey. They do a lot of good stuff. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, welcome. If you're tapping in on the replay, hey, you're catching up in one way or another. Or if you're listening on the podcast, maybe you're listening to the podcast on the road. Maybe you're at home, you're at school, you're getting back to the grind of work. Maybe, this podcast is keeping you company here on a fun day. And it was a game in which it started off with, first of all, talk about the Oilers and this team wanting depth scoring, wanting to score in different areas. You get that from Adam Henrique. 2 goals, a guy in which his start to the year had been a little bit slow, but you see Henrique chipping in, and that's a big thing Edmonton's going to need again as this year continues. More goals from guys on line 3, line 4, Henrique right there, getting in tight, beating Jeremy Swayman twice tonight. That is a great sign of someone who, again, been in the postseason before, played for a Stanley Cup, knows what it's like to compete in the hard months of an NHL season. So to see Adam Henrique get rewarded twice tonight was a really, really good sign. That entire third and fourth line stepped up in a major way. Guys like Henrique, Corey Perry, Jeff Skinner. These are guys who in the past 3-4 games have truly gone to work for the Oilers in and around the net. These guys have been rewarded and they've had great nights, been getting points, been disruptors, causing havoc. This is what you want to see from guys not named, McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent-Hopkins, etc., on this Edmonton Oilers roster. So, great effort for guys like that. Solid game for those gentlemen. And, of course, we did see to start the game, Stuart Skinner had an adventure of a game getting kicked by Nikita Zadorov, he had to go off for a bit, get checked for a concussion. Calvin Pickard came in, and both Pickard and Skinner played well. Pickard in relief while Skinner was getting checked for a concussion. And that was a great showing tonight in net by both guys. Of course, the bigger workload fell on the shoulders of Jeremy Swayman tonight in Boston's net. But when called upon, Skinner and Pickard had a great effort tonight on the road. And again, remember, years and years and years and years and years ago, Edmonton winning in Boston, that wasn't a thing. That was not a thing to see the Edmonton Oilers go into Boston, no matter what arena it was called, from like 1997 until what, 2012-ish, 2013. This team just couldn't win in Boston. They just couldn't win in Boston no matter how hard they tried, no matter who was on the roster. Boston was like a fortress of pain and suffering. If you're an Oilers fan from a certain era, generation, you remember that. You remember when winning in Boston for the Oilers seemed truly impossible. So, good for them to step things up tonight and get that huge W on the road as they continue the road trip, taking on Pittsburgh and then Chicago later on this week. And I'll be on the air, holding things down for you. I'll be on the air chatting up our people after the Oilers take on the Penguins. Crosby versus McDavid once again. And I feel kind of sad because, time is ticking. We're not going to get many more efforts or games of Connor McDavid versus Sidney Crosby. We know Father Time is going to eventually tick down, and that'll be a matchup. It'll be like, dang, I wish I got to see more of McDavid and Crosby. So, hey, cherish those matchups while you can. Cherish the times of seeing those two link up on the same ice surface while you can. I mean, we're going to see them play together at the Four Nations face-off, and most likely in 2026 at the Olympic Games in Italy. But after that, there won't be too many more chances to see McDavid and Crosby play together or against each other on the same surface when it comes to senior level hockey, either in the NHL or in international play. But either way, tonight, solid game. Stuart Skinner bounced back after getting knocked. A lot of huge save denying the big guns on Boston. Skinner denied anyone in a Bruins jersey, Marchand, Pasternak, Zadorov, Frederick, etc., etc. And we see how Boston has the guns. This is still, yes, we know Boston hasn't had the picture-perfect start, but this is still a team under Joe Sacco that has the ability to go on a run and be a playoff team. So I'm not going to be out here and say the Boston Bruins can't be a playoff team and be a playoff because team. I certainly do think, sorry, gang. Hear myself there. I certainly do think they can be, but yeah, good to see Edmonton going in and getting things done in that aspect. And I mentioned the depth, and you see again, someone like a Corey Perry helping out, moving his feet, making plays with the puck, and just being tough to play against. Being annoying has been the key for Corey Perry's career in a major way. Being that guy you don't want to play against, just being a guy who can frustrate your opposing forwards. Got into a fight tonight with Frederick. Didn't win it though, but you see that ferocity on the ice that Perry can bring, just being that annoying presence that Edmonton needed for quite some time. So a better game for him. The wheels aren't there like they were. The wheels aren't there like they were 8-9 years ago, but the skill, the hands are still there when it comes to Corey Perry's play as a bomb six forward on this Edmonton Oilers roster. So more of that consistency is going to be key for Edmonton, again, to keep pace in the Pacific when you're playing up against, as we know, the LA Kings, the Vegas Golden Knights. So massive 2 points for the Oilers here again. And a really strong showing here against the team that, again, the Boston Bruins are still no joke, still not backing down, still a team you got to take seriously as a team in the Eastern Conference and in the NHL overall. So that was a good effort, and we'll get into him a little bit more. We'll get into him a little bit later on, but man, Connor McDavid Connor McDavid was in a little bit of a scoring slump, only 3 goals in his past 16 games. But when you hit Connor McDavid on a break, it feels inevitable that he's going to find a way to tuck that home, which he did tonight. And even though it's a year in which Connor McDavid has been down to an extent, he's still so dangerous on the ice. He's still second in scoring on this Edmonton Oilers roster. He's still doing good things. He's still being a playmaker. He's still leading the team when it comes to assists. He's still making himself be a major factor, even if he's not scoring himself. And that's what makes Connor McDavid, hands down, the top 3 player in the league. And if he's below 3, heck, if he's below 2, we have some issues in my mind. We do. But anyways, second period time, and we got some more players to praise here on this Edmonton Oilers roster. Can you hear that? Can you all hear that? Yo, train's going by in the background. Yo, that train was loud as heck, man. That train was loud. Yo, that was wild. And another player who, again, I've praised him. Heck, there's a promo of me praising him on Game Over Network. It is Brett Kulak. Again, staying steady, being that steady D-man who makes the right play, doesn't get in trouble in his own end too much, can chip in offensively when called upon. Kulak had 2 points tonight, 2 helpers. He had an assist on the opening goal on Enrich's goal. He had an assist on the Albertson empty netter. So 9 assists for Brett Kulak. Again, Brett Kulak has shown why he's one of the more stable D-men on this core that is getting better. It's getting better. You're seeing plays from guys like Darnell Nurse. Even Josh Brown. Even Josh Brown wasn't bad tonight. Josh Brown called up this week, and Josh Brown didn't do anything to cost his team. That train is getting louder and louder. I'm hearing it. I don't know if you hear that, chat, but there's a train going by the Avry studios, and it is loud. It's going through my train of thought. Waka, waka, waka. Ha, ha, ha. You know, a little Fozzie Bear humor for you right there. But point being, I didn't see Josh Brown do anything that was overly bad in his own end. It was okay. It was satisfactory. You weren't thinking to yourself, oh no, Josh Brown's out there. I mean, yeah, if with the Zadorov hit on Stuart Skinner, you probably would have liked somebody to confront Zadorov after they hit on Stuart Skinner. But with the momentum, there wasn't really much reason to engage with Zadorov. Again, you're up by how many goals? You're up 2-0. You want to maintain the momentum on your side. You want to give Boston a spark, quote unquote, to an extent, even though, yeah, fighting does not correlate to goals. You don't want Boston to appear to have gone into your heads to an extent. So it's fine. You know what? Focus on your game. Focus on making sure Boston is stuck in their hole. That's what the Oilers did tonight with a very complete game from all aspects on this roster. And even though Edmonton only killed off 2 power plays, the penalty kill, once again, the penalty kill as well too, had a great game. Edmonton special teams finds a way to keep getting better and better as the year goes on. And you saw guys like Ty Emerson getting in the shooting lanes is a big thing to stop Boston. Not letting those big guns in Boston get a clear shooting lane, that's a major factor to stopping Boston right now, in terms of what they want to do. And speaking of those Bruins, the Boston Bruins right now, I think they're going to be a playoff team. I still think they're going to find a way to be here come playoff time in April, maybe early May. But man, they have now lost 6 of their last 7. The Bruins are now 1-5-1 in the Joe Sacco era, or recently. It's a weird spot that they're in because, like I said, the Bruins aren't a bad team, but you can see at times where they struggle to figure things out without certain pieces in that core. And speaking of those pieces, without Jeremy Swayman in net for Boston, oh man, this game is probably 5 or 6-1. Jeremy Swayman held the fort down as much as he could for the Bruins tonight. He put in so much work and more to make sure this game wasn't worse than 4-0. Full credit to Jeremy Swayman, someone who, again, has shown he's worth that money. Jeremy Swayman, to me, has shown he is worth that money and a little bit more for the Boston Bruins. I mean, of course, yeah, it would have been nice if you're a Bruins fan to be able to keep Ullmark and Swayman, but these guys got to get paid. They want their opportunities. Ullmark having a great year, revitalizing the Ottawa Senators and keeping them in a playoff race in the wildcard chase. But Jeremy Swayman, what he did tonight, Edmonton fired everything at him again. Edmonton threw the kitchen sink at him. They threw the bidet. They threw the pictures of those kids you find weird, neighborhood kids. They threw those out at him. Like, they threw everything you had to throw at him. They threw some turducken at him. I mean, what more can you ask for if you're the Boston Bruins for your goaltender? And that's going to be frustrating to know that if you're Swayman, if you're a quality goaltender like that, you're doing all you can. And you're just not getting the run support? That's gotta sting. That's gotta sting to be doing all of that if you're Swayman and just not getting that run support in net. That's gotta be tough. That is, as Oilers have now swept the Boston Bruins in their season series. Again, a thing that you would never say years ago. The Oilers swept the Boston Bruins in a season series. These are things we didn't hear 7 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. That is a statement that you did not hear historically when Edmonton would go and take on the Boston Bruins. So that change is certainly nice to see. It is very nice to see. And you know what else is nice to see here on Game Over? What else is nice to see? Game On Edmonton. It is always so much fun to see. Hosted by Graham Mosimann. Graham has you covered Monday through Friday through the NHL world. He takes you through the hockey world in 10 minutes or less. It's a quick show to get you through the hockey day, the hockey morning. He goes through everything, NHL, and any of the stories that tickle his fancy to talk about. Head to the Game Over Network YouTube channel and watch it. Or if you want to listen to Game Over on a podcast form, you can head to GameOverNetwork.com to find out where we do Game Over. Sorry, Game On. To find out where Game On is on. So yeah, Monday to Friday, Graham's got you in the mornings. After Game Over, he'll recap games. He'll go through things. He'll preview matchups. Graham's wonderful for that. So make sure you tap in to Game On. All right. Third period time. And remember, if you have any questions, comments for me, let me know. Got any comments, complaints? Send those to Andrew Berkshire. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, let me know what do you think. Because, like, again, Game Over. We got shows on all 7 Canadian markets. Coast to coast, Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, Montreal, Vancouver, Ottawa. All of our cities here. Toronto. Every Canadian market's got you covered for Game Over. We want to give you the content you can't find anywhere else, the breakdowns you like, the guests you like. If you truly enjoy the show, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that subscribe button below, and tell your friends about Game Over. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell them, hey, I like what's going on Game Over with the content from Avry, from Graham, from Austin, from Ash. Let us know. And every so often, you might see one of us tapping in or filling in on a different channel. You might see the occasional game where maybe Akai is hosting Game Over Toronto, which has happened before. You might see me hosting Game Over Calgary, which I've done before. You never know. And it's always fun whenever you get those little bit of crossovers when you see somebody else hosting a different show, because on Game Over, we're all puckheads. we all watch the game, tap into different teams, no matter who it is. That's why the versatility exists, and that's why we can go on and do stuff like that, which it's fun. It is a fun thing to do. And now, Connor McDavid, I mentioned him earlier. What he's done, again, he might not be the Hart winner. I think that's going to go to Draisaitl. He might not be the MVP. I mean, I think he'll be a finalist. I think he'll be in the talks. I think he'll find a way to be in that finalist debate, but I don't know if he's winning anything this year. But, man, again, the ability for him to still be able to get open, find a pass, be a playmaker, it is a thing that so few teams have in the NHL. It is easily one of the more impressive things in hockey to see what he can do when he's not the center of attention or he's doing different things. That goal was McDavid's first goal in 8 games and his first point in 3. But again, it's a good sign where if this Oilers team, if McDavid is having a down game or Draisaitl doesn't score, the fact that you've got guys, again, like Perry, Arvidsson, Kulak, who can step up and get things going. Because again, Leon Draisaitl, his 14-game point streak tonight, it came to an end. It was the supporting cast who led the way tonight. That's going to be a good thing when we talk about hard hockey in March, April, etc., etc. So, that's a good thing. And again, Victor Arvidsson, empty netter. Arvidsson has had a year in which Arvidsson started through the Oilers' tenure, hasn't been the best. We know he was banged up. We know he's trying to find his groove. But you're seeing Arvidsson now getting more active, more dynamic among the Oilers' top 6. And to see him score again tonight, gotta be good for him. Like, those are the kind of plays that, yes, an empty netter, but that can do wonders for the confidence. And we've seen Victor Arvidsson get more active and get activated more in this Oilers offense. So, good for him. Good for Arvidsson and Jeff Skinner having a week that's shown that, hey, they want promotions. They want to stay as top 6 guys. And again, we saw Jeff Skinner get bumped up. These are guys who are brought in to help your top 6 core. They're dynamic forwards. And again, great showing from both guys tonight. Great efforts. You know what else is a fun effort? You know what else is fun? Making sure you tap in to what? Making sure you tap in and getting yourself some Game Over merchandise. Yes, I know you look at that Game Over t-shirt. I know you see those Game Over hoodies and think to yourself, woo, I gotta get me one of those. I know some of y'all are out there thinking, man, what are they doing for merchandise? Well, fear not, we got you covered. What better way to support something you love than by rocking it as clothing? Game Over's apparel line has dropped with 3 unique designs. Whether you feel a nostalgic pull of our retro skater design, want to make a statement with our established design, want to wear your love for goaltenders proudly with our live and die by the goalie design, or if you need another coffee or tea to get you through the winter, I mean, some days here at Edmonton, it can be, freezing. We got you covered. Designed by Brady Chalice from Game Over Winnipeg. Use the QR code on stream right now and take a look through our apparel store and help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. I mean, you've seen online some of our hosts wearing the gear, rocking it strong. Andrew's done it before. I gotta get myself some gear, maybe a hoodie, maybe a ball cap, maybe one day a Game Over fedora. You never know. You never know, ladies and gentlemen. That could be a thing one day, and I hope you'll buy one too. All right. Overtime, we'll wrap things up. So if you have any comments, questions, please let me know. Let me hear what you're thinking. Let me know what's on your mind, Oilers fans, Edmontonians, or in general, just fans of Game Over. Let me know what you're thinking. See, we got a comment here from Oilers Time Bob. Hello, we won. Yes, we did, Bob. Yes. Nice to see a couple of fans jumping in here. Great win. And so now, again, for Edmonton, and these are the games in which you got to find a way to get 4 points against Pittsburgh and Chicago. 2 teams on the downward trend, 2 teams that you are better than. Edmonton is better than Pittsburgh. Edmonton is better than Chicago. Absolutely better than Chicago. Absolutely, this team is better than the Blackhawks. We saw the Hawks after the Winter Classic. That Chicago team is in trouble. We saw the turmoil after the loss to the Blues. That Blues team that Chicago Blackhawks team isn't doing so hot. This Oilers team should be able to go into the United Center and get 2 points. And yes, Bob, Happy New Year to you as well. This team should be able to go in there and get 2 points off the Blackhawks. And, man, a fun way to keep this road trip going here for the Oilers. And I believe this is my first show. This is my first show of the new year. So yes, you're seeing Avry at 32. Yes, it's fun to be here. A year older, a year wiser. And hey, with that being said, we'll wrap things up here on Game Over Edmonton. I don't see more questions or comments coming in, but let's wrap things up. We'll have some more time for chatting after the Oilers take on the Penguins on Thursday night. Crosby, McDavid, Malkin, Draisaitl, you, me, after the game, tap in. For Game Over Edmonton, it's your boy Avry signing off. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to spend a half an hour with me. I'm honored. Like always, with Game Over, like, subscribe, comment, and share the show to everybody. Support local media in Canada. Until Thursday, we're gone. Peace. Now we're gone.